أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة آت محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة وقل المقام المحمود الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد واعف عنا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله ثم الحمد لله. الحمد لله الرحمن الرحيم الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله غافر الذنوب جميعها إلا الشرك به، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وعلى صحبه وعلى التابعين. We praise Almighty Allah, the Merciful, the Mercy Giver, the Magnanimous, Al-Azim. And we ask Him to shower His prayers and blessings unto all of His prophets, starting from Prophet Ibrahim, the father of all prophets, including his children Ismail wa Ishaq, Ishmael and Isaac, and all the subsequent prophets and messengers, including prophets Moses and Jesus, and the seal of all prophets, Muhammad sallallahu alayhim jami'an wa sallam. عباد الله، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. I announce before you as witnesses, and Allah is the best of all witnesses, that I believe in one deity, one God, Allah, and that the seal of all prophets of Allah is none but Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, it gives me a great pleasure to stand in front of you this afternoon to share with you some reflections on one of the most holy months in the Muslim calendar, the month of Ramadan. It is also known as the month of the Quran. People celebrate birthdays and national days and armistice days through different ways: parades, fanfare, programs. But Muslims celebrate the revelation of the Holy Quran by studying it, by reading it, by keeping it alive from year to year in the hearts in the minds and the actions of all the followers of Islam. And when I say this, I want to remind myself and you, and when I say you, I mean in particular the young men and the young women who are here this afternoon. We live as minority in America, which is a majority Christian country. In fact, we are considered the minority of all minorities. And it adds more responsibility to you, young men and women, and of course, your parents, your mom and dad, and your grandparents, your grandfather and grandmother, to at least understand the Quran. At least understand the Quran. And preferred that you read the Quran, and even the utmost preferred is memorize parts or all the Holy Quran. We have a Qari visitor here from Egypt who has spent his life studying and reading the recitation of the Holy Quran. I'm not asking the young men and women or the old to become professional reciters of the Holy Quran, because this is a specialty. You cannot ask a doctor to be an engineer. You cannot ask an engineer to be an accountant. It doesn't work this way. What I'm asking is to understand the Holy Quran. I've been in this country for 50 years. I'm becoming an old man, so I am at liberty to share with you my experience. I have attended many Taraweeh prayers, and it's good because the Quran brings barakah. We understand and we believe in that. But it's not good enough, because I noticed that a large number of those who are praying, spiritually fulfilled, spiritually motivated, do not understand the meanings of the Holy Quran. And that was not the intent of the revelation of the Holy Quran as the last message of Allah to His followers, the Muslims. Now, I remember I came here last year and I made the same plea, and I don't know if some of you remember it or not. But I asked you in the month of Ramadan last year to read and understand at least chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah of the Holy Quran. I look at Surah Al-Baqarah as what we call an overview of Islam. If you want to get an overview of Islam, of the history of prophethood, of some of the details of the Sharia, you read Surah Al-Baqarah. Now, I also said, and I hope at least one has fulfilled that advice, is to read the translation of Maulana Yusuf Ali, the one that's published by Amana, because it has not been toyed with. There are translations of the Holy Quran that were published somewhere else, and they were toyed with the translation and the footnotes. Now, here is where you make a difference. Here is why I think Allah has brought us all to America, to perfect the English language. Because people who speak Arabic are not perfecting the English language, or Turkish, or Persian, or Urdu, or Hindi. It is you who should perfect the English language. So I suggested to pick up the Holy Quran translation by Maulana Yusuf Ali, may God bless his soul, and read the verse, and if there is a footnote, read the footnote. Why? Because this man, rahimahullah, who died very poor and did not have the money to purchase his coffin, he translated the Quran over a period of 40 years. He made it a point to tie in the Quran to all the claims made in Judaism and Christianity. So this will equip you as a young man or a young woman to engage America and hopefully to invite America to Islam. And in my humble opinion, we are all here in America because we have been chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring Islam to America. If you didn't think about it again, think about it this way, please think again. One thing we do not know is our faith, the foundations of our faith. We are impressed by the looks. If I have a long beard and a special dress and talk in a certain way, you will believe me. That is not the American way. And I look at you as Americans, American Muslims, who insha'Allah will make a difference in America and the world. Somebody talks to you dressed up in a certain way, no problem. We listen to them. But in America we say we trust and verify. Somebody makes a claim, we trust, but we need to verify. If we are not equipped with the Quran, we cannot verify. If we are not equipped to how Islam and the revelations, the last revelations from Allah to mankind, is tied to all the claims in the Old Testament and the New Testament, then we will be equipped to deal with the rest of America. If we don't, we are losing a golden opportunity. And let me tell you about a number of golden opportunities which were lost by the Muslims. Millions of Muslims since 1967 went to work in the Gulf, in Saudi Arabia, in the Emirates, in Qatar, and all of these wonderful Kuwait. This was a golden opportunity to raise a new generation of international Muslims who know Urdu and Arabic, Hindi and Arabic, Turkish and Arabic, not because of the Arabs, but because of the language of the Holy Quran. Wasn't done. We lost a golden opportunity. Let us not lose this golden opportunity that has been offered to each and every one of us here in America. Please, please, I'm making that plea again this year. Pick up a copy of the Quran. If you need one, I will be glad to make it available to you at no cost. All I want is a dua. Not even the dua. I do not want the dua. I want you to read Surah Al-Baqarah. Just Surah Al-Baqarah, one chapter of the Holy Quran. And then your taste will be so much soothed to read more later on. Because this is the month of the Quran. The Taraweeh is good. It brings barakah. It's wonderful. But it is not meant to be an exercise in torture, standing up for people who do 8 rak'ahs or 20 rak'ahs. May Allah bless them and accept. But that's not what it meant to be. It meant to be reading the Quran. Please, if you haven't read the Quran in the month of Ramadan until today, please read the Quran as much as you can. Our wise four grandparents subdivided the Quran into 3 paras, 3 juz, 3 sections, 3 parts, 30 parts. Every night you finish 1 part. If you are really good, you can do 2 parts, 3 parts, half a part. Do something. Do something before it's too late. If you are a grandfather or a grandmother, and you would hope that you have raised your children better, you have another chance. Your grandchildren. What you didn't do with your children, do it with the grandchildren. The lesson you learned with your children and you did wrong with them, don't repeat it with the grandchildren. Teach your grandchildren. Because if we don't, we will be doomed. And it's happening right now. There are Muslims who are reverting back to other religions. There are many Muslims who are practicing yoga and Hindi type, not from India, by the way, not from India, from other places, Muslim places. So there is a spiritual vacuum. And we all have been sent here to enrich ourselves, to get a new job, to get good education, good health care. That's acceptable. But not to sit there and not invite people to Islam. The last point on this subject. I stand up here and give the khutbah, and my brothers and sisters, colleagues come here and give advice. That's not enough. We need to train our young men and women on how to engage America. You know, when a company wants to sell a product, what do? They have a training program to teach them how to sell the product. Am I correct? If a company wants to train a salesman to sell cars, they will equip him with all the advantages of the car and how it compares to other cars. And the first thing they do is to let him drive the car he wants to sell. Let me project this on Islam. In America, they say you cannot try to sell Coca-Cola while you are drinking Pepsi-Cola, right? So how can I sell Islam while I'm not behaving as a Muslim? How can I go out and share with people what I believe in without sharing with people actively, practically, on the ground, who I am? So my dear brother and sister Islam, if you love Allah and you love me, and if this is what I want to say, I will go down and say Alhamdulillah. All I want is just one person. And I will never know him, but will know him on the day of judgment, or know her. To read Surah Al-Baqarah. Read the footnotes. That's all I hope that can be done. So, the Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan. And the ingenious way of keeping the Quran alive compared to any other revelation from God is that we have this anniversary for 30 days every year. So your batteries get to decline in efficiency. You bring you in the masjid for 30 days, it polishes you again and you go up. What we hope is that when we decline, we don't decline to zero, we decline to 20%. And we hope when we bring you up, we bring you up to 40%, and down to 30%, and up to 70%, and on and on. Then we can make a difference to America. Because, wallahi, this is a gift from Allah to each and every one of you. The month of Ramadan is the month of barakat. And we read the Quran. The second important aspect of the month is fasting. Now, they teach us that there are 5 pillars of Islam. Shahada, that's fasting of the month of Ramadan. What else? Salah, Zakah, and the Hajj. Now, There are two things here that are very, very personalized. Fasting and salah. Salah is derived from the Arabic word yasul, connect, to connect. If you want to connect with Allah, do your salat. The Imam who will stand in front of you is not your conduit to Allah. He is your leader, organizing you as you practice worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Catholicism, the priest is your conduit to Allah. And that priest, his conduit is the Pope. If he doesn't believe so, he's not part of the creed. We don't do that. We believe that you have the channel with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at how dignified Allah made Muslims. Ya Abdi, my servant, you don't need a channel. You are my best creation. I asked the angels to prostrate in front of your parents, Adam and Eve. I have asked the angels to do that. You communicate with me. The other thing is the fasting. And this is the most amazing thing. Now, I can pray in front of you 100 times and you will say, oh, look at this Yahya Abdul Rahman, mashallah. He prays a lot. He must be a good Muslim. I can show off. Now, to impersonalize Islam, fasting came. Not only in Islam, in all the revelations of Allah, from the time of إِنِّي نَظَرْتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ صَوْمًا فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ إِنْسِيًّا. From Sayyidina Zakaria to Sayyidina Maryam and on and on. Now, why is fasting so personalized? Now, I'm going to make to you today that I'm fasting. How can I prove it? How can I prove it? Because I can get in my car and I can eat a sandwich and you will not see me. And that is the ultimate in our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only one who knows that you are fasting properly are Allah and you. And that's why it is the ultimate in ibadah. It is the impersonalization of ibadah to you as you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why in the Hadith al-Qudsi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُلُّ عَبْلٍ بْنِ آدَمَ لَهُ, all the deeds of the child of Adam are for his or her own sake, إِلَّا الصِّيَامِ, except fasting. فَإِنَّهُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. It is for me and a reward for it. It's not for the people. You know, you can go for Hajj 10 times or 100 times. You become a super Hajji. We have them these days, which I don't agree with. One Hajj is fine. Then you can give it space for the future Hajjis. You can go for Umrah. People go for Umrah now every Ramadan, mashallah, and they spend thousands of dollars. Instead of spending the thousands of dollars on the poor and the needy and the many, many refugees, alhamdulillah, they have been created over the last 20 years. We go for Umrah, spend $15,000, $20,000, which is not a farida. What's fine? Oh, look at this man, mashallah. He goes to Umrah every year. Please don't forget me in dua. This is what we are advocating. A revolution in the thinking, the understanding, the behavior of the future leaders of the world. Those who say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah in English from America. And if you complain, you say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been unfair to the Muslims, astaghfirullah. Oh, look at all of these refugees, look at the Muslims who are being killed, look at the wars. Well, I look at it a different way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is thickening our skins. He makes us understand how the world works. He tests our resolve. He makes us ready for the big responsibility. Do you think you want to be the leader of the world and you become a pushover? You got to be up to that responsibility. Not by shouting, not by demonstrating on the street, but by professionalism, by hard work, by being a person who can make an impact on those around him, of all faith, of all background. And then in the month of Ramadan, we seek what we call al-ihsan, excellence in everything you do. And that's why I want to remind myself and you to help the needy. Now, let me tell you about a category of the needy that we don't think about. We have relief organizations, mashallah, doing a fantastic job. But do you know that your next door prayee most likely has a son or a daughter who are going to college, and he or she is required to pay at least $50,000 to teach them? And do you know that because he cannot afford it, his child will graduate after 4 years of college with an average loan of $100,000? That's a miskin. He's not a faqir, he's not a poor, but a miskin. We need to help these people, not a handout, but at least a qard hasan. We have an institution for a qard hasan, whereby we get the funds and give it not to everybody, but to the distinguished achievers in school. And instead of letting them go out and take a loan, and that big cloud will be on the top of their head for years. So many people who are needy. And it's not only the people who extend their hands. The Quran says, يَحْسَبُهُمُ الْجَاهِلُ أَغْنِيَاءَ مِنَ التَّعَفُّفِ. The ignorant might think that they are rich because they refuse to extend their hands. We need to visit the sick. We need to call a friend or a family member whom we have not talked to for a long time for many reasons. One of them, I'm busy, I don't have the time. One other reason is, I don't like him, we had a fight, I will never talk to him again. Surprise that person, and you call and say, Assalamu alaikum, I'm calling to wish you a very blessed Ramadan, my dear brother. This is the spirit of the month of Ramadan. And then last but not the least is smile. I can see you all and I say, these people are fasting. They really are fasting. There is no smile on their face, sitting down like this. We want to smile. We're in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are doing our roza, our fasting. And we are enjoying the company of each other, inshallah, the company of the angels as we are here worshipping Allah. And we want every Muslim to be distinguished with one trademark. You know what the trademark is? A smile. And I'll share with you a personal experience. A colleague of mine and I were visiting a Muslim country. I'm not going to mention names. And after we walked in the market for some time, so that colleague, an American, he said, did this country have a catastrophe happen? Did they lose a national leader? I was surprised. I said, why are you asking? He said, nobody is smiling. Look, everybody walking there, not a single smile. The Prophet tells us, تَبَسُّمُكَ فِي وَجْهِ أَخِيكَ صَدَقَةً. Your smile in the face of your brother is as if you have given a sadaqah. So wallahi, don't forget, if you catch yourself not smiling, smile. So you say, this is Brother Muhammad, the man who is smiling, or the sister who is smiling. Because when you smile, you bring hope and optimism to those around you. Regardless of what difficult times you have at home, at work, wherever. Because smiling is a reassurance to you and those surrounding you of the belief in the future, which is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم إنه نعم المولى ونعم النصير وادعوا الله يغفر لكم ذنوبكم ويكفر عنكم سيئاتكم. اللهم اغفر لي واعف عنا وارزقنا الحمد لله ثم الحمد لله. الحمد لله الرحمن الرحيم الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. I took too much time, but I hope, inshallah, it will be useful to all of us. Quickly, Eid is coming. And I will not be with you, unfortunately, for Eid, but I want to remind you of few reminders, especially for those who have kids. When you put your kids in the car early in the morning and you go driving for Eid, everybody will be sleepy and grouchy. Acceptable, we know that. But you need to wake him up by Takbiratul Eid. Why? They don't teach it in school. They didn't teach you wherever you come from Takbiratul Eid in school. The teacher didn't come. Today we have a class on Takbiratul Eid. Did you have that? It is done as part of the culture, as part of the education of your parents. The Eid is coming. We witness Christmas, Hanukkah, Bar Mitzvahs, all of these festivals. Oh, this is haram. Don't go to this thing. That's not the way to handle it. Psychologically, ask psychologists. The way to handle it is what we call positive reinforcement. How? To make the Eid a much happier occasion than Christmas, than Bar Mitzvah, than Hanukkah. And parents and grandparents, share with your kids what your parents did with you during Eid. They took you and they bought everything new. Socks, shoes, underwear, wallahi, and shirts and everything. And I remember in the living room, every one of the children had one chair. Living room means this is the area off limits for everybody at the house, only for guests. You have that, right? In your homes, right? All of us. So everyone had a chair and you put the thing on it and you couldn't wait to wake up in the morning to dress up very elegantly and go to Eid prayer. Are we doing this with our kids? Are we doing that? Oh, wearing jeans and shirt which is wrinkled and stuff like that. خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ عِنْدَ كُلِّ masjid. Take the best of ornament and dress when you go to the masjid. So people say, oh, why are you dressed up this way? Oh, I'm going to meet my boss. No, I'm dressed up this way because I'm meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the masjid. Number 3, Zakatul Fitr. Zakatul Fitr is wajib, is required on the head of the household. If you and your wife and 2 kids, that's 4. If you and your wife and 2 dependents, that is 4. How much do you pay them? So some Islamic centers, they say $15. Some others say $20. Some others say $10. The sunnah is the equivalent of a meal. Not a meal which is cheap, the average meal that you eat. من أوسط مما تطعمون. From the average of what you eat. Some people love steak. That is a $50 affair. So it's $50 a person. Some people love falafel. Today you cannot eat a sandwich falafel for less than, with a Coke and all of this stuff, for less than $10. Do we define it? We don't define it. The reason Islamic centers define it is we just want to have a norm for everybody. And we say it's $15 to $20. But if your average meal is $50, you owe the difference. Who knows what you like? You and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And maybe your wife. Who knows, right? And make her your conscious, your damir. Then you can do that. This is, and it has to be given before the Eid. Why? Because the other part of the fiqh zakah is that you spend the money in stores that are owned by community members. Then you create economic prosperity and we can feed on each other as we help each other and work with each other. When I came to Los Angeles, we did the first fundraiser for the Masjid al-Rahman Islamic Center of Orange County, Dr. Muzammil Siddiqui. And we had big dreams. We said, Brookhurst, we said this street is going to be the Islamic street, inshallah. We had about 12, 15 stores. You go today, only 2 stores. Why? Because we don't support each other. Who supports each other? Look at the Vietnamese. This whole area now is Vietnam town, Little Saigon, correct? Go and find out, go and look. And ask a Vietnamese. They wouldn't buy a sock except from a Vietnamese store. They wouldn't buy food except from a Vietnamese store. If I go to a Muslim store, I want to squeeze him to the ringer. I want to negotiate with him the price and go out and brag with my friends, I got a good price. Why? Why are we doing this to ourselves as brothers and sisters? Why? Why do we desert each other? Why don't we work with each other? Why don't we support each other? If we don't, who is going to support you? And then the zakah. And the best time to pay the zakah is the month of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan, from Ramadan to Ramadan, you pay the zakah. And I'm going to give you the synopsis because my time is out. 2.5%, not of your income, but of your assets, right? That's all I want to say. Allahumma inni da'in faqulu ameen. اللهم اجمع قلوبنا على محبتك وعلى الإيمان بك وعلى نور هدايتك. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. Almighty Allah, we ask you to bless our gathering this afternoon, to accept our prayers, to accept our fasting, to accept our recitation of the Holy Quran, to forgive us our misdeeds and guide us on the righteous path. Almighty Allah, we ask you to give speedy recovery to the brothers and sisters who are sick and ill. And I know that there is a sister who is not feeling well, Sister Halima. She is in the hospital, and inshallah she is on life support. And don't ever, ever undermine the value of the dua. The dua is an amazing tool, wallahi. And Sister Tivur, she is also in the IC unit in the hospital. Make dua for her. Almighty Allah, we ask you to bless our children and grandchildren, to give every unmarried man a good wife to complete his life, and every unmarried woman a good husband to complete her life. Almighty Allah, we ask you to bless the brothers and sisters who are taking care of this Islamic center and all Islamic center and masajid around the world. Almighty Allah, we ask you to bless the refugees, the brothers and sisters who were forced to leave their homes, and accept those who died amongst them in paradise, and that you'll help those who are still alive to go back home and live in a dignified way. Almighty Allah, we ask you to send your angels of peace and prosperity to overtake and defeat the devils of wars and destruction, Ya Allah. Almighty Allah, we ask you to guide us on the righteous path. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك أنت سميع مجيب الدعوات. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر. Inshallah, our Qari, our Imam is going to be Sheikh Muhammad Rizq. And Muhammad Rizq comes from the Delta in Egypt, and he has been reciting the Quran in the month of Ramadan. So we'll enjoy listening to his wonderful voice, inshallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. اللهم احسن We have two more. عندي العادة السيئة دي.
استقيموا يرحمكم الله. استووا واعتدلوا. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. ولقد آتينا داود وسليمان علما وقال الحمد لله الذي فضلنا على كثير من عباده المؤمنين. وورث سليمان داود وقال يا أيها الناس علمنا منطق الطير وأوتينا من كل شيء إن هذا لهو الفضل المبين. وحشر لسليمان جنوده من الجن والإنس والطير فهم يوزعون حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها وقال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. ولقد آتينا داود منا فضلا يا جبال أوبي معه والطير وألنا له الحديد أن اعمل سابغات وقدر في السرد واعملوا صالحا إني بما تعملون بصير. ولسليمان الريح غدوها شهر ورواحها شهر وأسلنا له عين القطر ومن الجن من يعمل بين يديه بإذن ربه ومن يزغ منهم عن أمرنا نذقه من عذاب السعير. يعملون له ما يشاء من محاريب وتماثيل وجفان كالجواب وكدور الراسيات. اعملوا آل داود شكرا وقليل من عبادي الشكور. فلما قضينا عليه الموت ما دلهم على موته إلا دابة الأرض تأكل من سأته. فلما خر تبينت الجن أن لو كانوا يعلمون الغيب ما لبثوا في العذاب المهين. لقد كان لسبأ في مسكنهم آية جنتان عن يمين وشمال كلوا من رزق ربكم واشكروا له بلدة طيبة ورب غفور. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Inshallah, thank you, Dr. Abdul Rahman. That's mashallah. He's always beloved so to us, to our community. Mashallah, 35 years and I know him. Mashallah, he's still with us. May Allah bless him and give him a long life and give us more wisdom, inshallah. Inshallah, I have a quick announcement that I have made some fly here to prepare you, inshallah, for the next Saturday night. Could be the night of the 27th of Ramadan, which is the Laylatul Qadr. So inshallah, we want to make this night as a history for our community, that we can come together, inshallah, and support the community and we pay off the loan. So I have our brother, alhamdulillah, Abdullah here with me, because Sheikh Ahmad Ridwan have been with us for a long time, but today he's out, he going to some other community, inshallah. He been absent but 2 weeks, inshallah, he will return. Inshallah, we have Abdullah here. I don't know how can we replace this man, but inshallah, we'll try our best. But please take the flight and be prepared, inshallah. The next Saturday will be the big night for us, and we might make a history in that day to pay off the loan, that our masjid will be free of loan at the first time. Then this is our history, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Abdullah. Oh, okay. Those who are blocking the car, please go remove your car right away. Some people have to leave the emergency, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah, he have to go. So those who blocked up the car, please go ahead and. So Abdullah is one of our young who are grown up from the community, and inshallah, potential to be our leader. We just finished Quran. Alhamdulillah, he's be with us today, inshallah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Just quick, inshallah. Just a few announcements, inshallah. Tonight after Asr, there'll be a Eid crafts day for the youth, for the kids. So if you have any small children, we would advise everyone, inshallah, to bring your kids here to make prayer beads, to make Eid cards, to make keychains and gifts for the parents. So, and we'll have snacks and stuff for them. And following that, inshallah, we'll have a night market tonight also. So we would like everyone to also join us and support the youth, inshallah. And also next weekend, which will be the 1st of June, we will have a youth qiyam night. And we would like to extend our invitation to everyone here. And if you have any sons, daughters, inshallah, we would like to participate with us. But again, we are still left with about $70,000 to pay on private loans. So, give as much as you can, because as we know, this is the month of Ramadan. Our rewards and our deeds multiply, and don't let this opportunity slip out of your hands. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us and accept from us. It's about $70,000. So inshallah, that's why we would like to, have everyone, or about $80,000 in private loans. So if you can assist in any way, if you can't assist with financially, then even with your dua is more than enough for us, inshallah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to, give and bless everyone's wealth, and give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before that day is too late. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So at least we prepare now so we can start announcements.